Hey, family. Welcome back to my Becoming Supernatural reading series. If you're new here, I'm Brittany. Hey, your manifesting mentor. I'm not a coach, not a guru, but I'm a woman who walks the walk and who shares what works. So today we're diving into part 5 of chapter 11 of Becoming Supernatural, which covers the section titled The Unified Field, Becoming Everybody, Everyone, Everything, Everywhere, in Every Time, and the time space meditation. So, this is the culmination of everything that Dr. Joe's been leading us toward in this chapter. He explains that the unified field is the dimension of infinite potentials. Think about infinite, that means more than any body could possibly count, right? A realm beyond the senses where all versions of you already exist, all versions, infinite versions. Um, and so we move from beyond our body, our personality, our linear perception of time. We begin to access that field. This is where manifestation, healing, intuition, and change originate. And through the meditation he introduces here, Dr. Joe gives us a practical way to enter that space, not conceptually, but experientially. Let's begin. The unified field becoming everybody, everyone, everything, everywhere, in every time. Matter is very dense, and because of its density, it vibrates at the slowest frequency in the universe. Figure 1111, you'll see that as you raise matter's frequency by speeding it up faster and faster, matter as we know it dematerializes into energy. At some point just beyond the visible light spectrum, above the realm of duality and polarity, any information about matter converts to more unified energy. As you can see, the higher the frequency, the more orderly and coherent that energy becomes. At this level of frequency and energy, duality and polarity unify to become one. We call this love or wholeness because there is no longer any division or separation. It is where positive and negative join, male and female unite, where the past and future merge, where good and bad no longer exist, where right and wrong no longer apply, where opposites become one. As you continue up the scale away from matter and separation, you continue to experience greater and greater degrees of wholeness, order, and love. The orderliness of the more coherent energy is carrying information that and that information is more and more love. If you continue speeding up matter even faster, eventually it would be vibrating so fast as a frequency that it would exist as a straight line. Infinite frequencies exist in that line, which means infinite possibilities exist there as well. This is the 0 point field, or the point of singularity of the quantum, an omnipresent, ubiquitous field of information that exists as energy and frequency that is observing all of reality into order from a single point. We could call this the mind of God, unity consciousness, source energy, or whatever non monacular you want to use to define the self organizing principle of the universe. This is the place where all potentials or possibilities exist as a thought, the ultimate source of a loving intelligence and an intelligent love that is observing all of this physical reality into form. Therefore, the greater the frequency we experience, the greater the energy. The greater the energy, the greater the information we have access to. The greater the information, the greater the consciousness. The greater the consciousness, the greater the awareness. The greater the awareness, the greater the mind. And the greater the mind, the greater ability we have to affect matter. In the hierarchy of universal laws, quantum laws trump Newtonian or classical laws. This is why Einstein said the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. For the quantum field governs, organizes, and unifies all laws of nature and is always directing energy into order by patterning light into form. On our own planet, we need only look at nature to see how Fibonacci's sequence, otherwise known as the golden ratio, a recurring mathematical formula found throughout nature that brings about order and coherence. brings order to matter. It's the 0 point field made of possibilities or thought, because thoughts are the possibilities that is slowing its frequency down, creating order and form. The unified field is self organizing intelligence that is always observing the material world into order and form. The more you can surrender to it, move closer to it, and become one with it, the less separation and lack you feel, and thus more wholeness and oneness you experience. When you, as an awareness, unfold into this infinite realm of possibilities, you begin to feel connected to the consciousness of everyone, everybody, everywhere, everything, in every time, including your future dreams. Since consciousness is awareness and awareness is paying attention, the first step to experiencing the unified field is to become aware of it. Because if you're not aware of it, it doesn't exist. Thus, the more you pay attention to this field, the more you will become aware of it. There is a caveat, however. As we've seen, the only way you can enter the realm of pure consciousness is to become pure consciousness. In other words, the only way to enter this kingdom of thought is as a thought. That means you have to get beyond your senses by taking your awareness off of matter and particles and instead place it on energy or the wave. If you can unfold as an awareness into this unseen, immaterial realm of infinite blackness and become aware that you are an awareness in the presence of a greater awareness, your consciousness will merge with a greater consciousness. If you can do this, if you can get out of the way and linger as a consciousness or awareness in this field, if you can keep surrendering to this intelligent love, the same innate intelligence that's creating the universe and giving you life, it's going to consume you. This loving intelligence is both personal and universal, within you and all around you. And when it consumes you, it's going to create and restore order and balance in your biology, because its very nature is to organize matter in a more coherent way. This is how people heal. Now you are moving through the eye of the needle, as we learned in the Bible. You heard that verse? And on the other side of the eye, there is no longer the separation of 2 points of consciousness. There is one consciousness or oneness. This is where all possibilities exist. Because you are entering the domain of consciousness, thought, information, energy, and frequency, the bridge that gets you from space time to time space is going from being somebody, someone, something, in some place, in some time, to being nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, in no time. This is the nexus, the threshold to the unified or quantum field. We'll go back to review figures 11.8 and 11.9. In this realm of infinite unknown possibilities, unlimited new potentials and experiences await you. Not the same old familiar ones that you've experienced time and time again. After all, isn't that what the unknown is? An unknown is just a possibility that exists to you as a new thought. When you are in this realm of pure thought, as a thought, the only thing limiting you is your imagination. Didn't a guy named Neville Goddard teach us that imagination creates? You see how the science is catching up? Yeah. But when in this realm of thought, if you find yourself thinking again about someone, something, somebody, somewhere in the some known time, your awareness and thus your energy is back in the known reality of three-dimensional space and time, back to the realm of separation, back to everything you thought you knew. And that's why you would create the same stuff over and over again. Yeah. Since every thought you think has a frequency, the moment you start thinking about the pain in your body, or the advancement of your disease, or the problems at work, or the issues you have with your mother, or the things you must do with a certain amount of time, you're back in this space and time. Your awareness is back in the realm of the material world, and your thoughts are producing the same frequency equal to matter and particles. Review figure 11.10. Your energy is back to vibrating at the same level of the known physical world of three-dimensional reality. So you exert less of an effect on your personal reality. And you got to move through space, and that takes time. You are back to vibrating as matter, and we know how that goes. As your frequency moves further and further into density, you are moving further and further away from the unified field. As a result, you feel separate from it. In this scenario, if your dreams exist as thoughts in the unified field, it's going to take a lot of time for your dreams to come true. If you're thinking about somebody, someone, something at some place in some time, you're not getting beyond your identity, which has been shaped by the totality of your past experiences. You are literally still in the same memories, habitual thoughts, and conditioned emotions that you've associated with all the familiar people and things at certain times and places in your known reality, which means your attention and energy are bound to your past, present, personal reality. Your thinking equal to your identity, so your life is going to stay the same. You're the same personality trying to create a new personal reality. It doesn't work like that. When I say you have to get beyond yourself, it means to forget about yourself, to take your attention off your personality and your personal past personal reality. It makes sense then that to heal your body, you're going to have to get beyond your body. To create something new in your life, you're going to have to forget about your same old life. To change some problem in your external environment, you're going to have to get beyond your memory of the corresponding emotions related to that problem. And if you want to create a new unexpected event in your future timeline, you'll have to stop unconsciously anticipating the same predictable future based on your familiar memories of the past. Easier said than done, right? You're going to have to move to a greater level of consciousness than the consciousness that created any of those realities. In the unified field, there's nowhere to go because you're in everywhere. You are everywhere. There's no thing you can want because you are so whole and complete that you feel you have everything. You can't judge anyone because you are everyone. It's no longer necessary to become anybody because you are everybody. And why would you be worried that there is never enough time if you exist in a domain where there is infinite time? The more whole you feel, the less lack you experience, and therefore, the less you want. How can you want or live in lack when you feel whole? If there is lack, there is less of the need to create from duality, polarity, and separation. How can you want when you're whole? When you're creating from wholeness, you feel like you already have it. There is no longer wanting, trying, wishing, forcing, predicting, fighting, or hoping. After all, hope is a beggar. I told you, Dr. Joseph. He says this in his lectures and he wrote it in his book. Hope is a beggar. When you create from a state of wholeness, there are only knowing and observing. This is the key to manifesting reality. Being connected, not separate. So when Neville taught you embody the state of the wish fulfilled, that means being connected, not separate. Not hoping, because you ain't begging for nothing. You're being connected to that version of yourself. If time in your three-dimensional world is created by the illusion of space between two objects or 2 points of consciousness, then the more one you are with the unified field, the less separation there is between you and everything material. When your consciousness merges or becomes more connected to the unified field, to the realm of wholeness and unity, there is no longer separation between 2 points of consciousness. This wholeness is then reflected in your biology, chemistry, circuitry, hormones, genes, heart, and brain, thus restoring balance to your entire system. This, once again, is how people are healing, and especially at his workshops or just consistently doing the work at home. A greater frequency or energy is now moving through your autonomic nervous system, a system that continuously gives you life and whose agenda is to create balance and order. This energy is carrying a message of wholeness, and as a result, you become more holy. HOLY. The greater the frequency you experience, the shorter amount of time it takes to unfold in this three-dimensional space time reality. By the way, that's giving context to biblical phrases, the Holy Spirit. you feel whole. You're not separate. You can't act ugly when you're whole. You can't judge when you're whole. You don't have the desire because you're everything, everyone, in every time, and every space. Yeah. Talk about Christ consciousness making sense. I think so. As we learned earlier in this chapter, when you diminish the space between 2 points of consciousness, you collapse time. When this illusion of separation no longer exists, you perceive less space between you and identity, living in a body, in a physical environment, in linear time, and people, objects, things, places, matter, and even your dreams. Therefore, the closer you move to the unified field, the more connected you feel you are to everyone and everything. You, as a consciousness, are in the realm of oneness. And because there is no separation, time is eternal. And remember, when there is infinite time, there are infinite spaces, possible dimensions, and realities to be experienced. Whenever you think you are, or whoever you think you are, you are. Wherever you think you are, or whoever you think you are, you are. Confucius says something like that. What a man think believes he is true for him. Yeah. Jesus taught you something similar to. Anyways, in fact, there is nothing to try to create because it already exists as a thought in the realm of all thoughts. All you have to do is to become aware of it and observe it into being by experiencing it. And this is why he'll get you to um he does this I forgot what it's called in the meditation where he does this like warming you up, getting you to separate from your reality and drift into pure consciousness. From there, he then tells you, now, what was that vision of the future? Live that vision now. That is you having a thought in the unified field by observing a reality and feeling into it with your senses, as Neville taught you. Feeling gets the blessing, feel it real, and experiencing it because your subconscious doesn't know it's not happening. But also, the unified field, you are putting your awareness on this potential, you're observing it, and as you linger in it, it's collapsing into matter, which means that it's a matter of time before you have that experience. This is how we create. Take a peek at 1112 figure to follow along. As you do this and move your attention from being somebody to being nobody to becoming everybody, you can create anybody. As you move from living as someone to becoming no one to being everyone, you can become anyone. As you take your attention off something, move into the realm of no thing, you merge with everything. Thus, you can have anything. Ooh, as you move your awareness from somewhere to nowhere, you will be everywhere and you can live anywhere. And finally, when you shift your consciousness from some time to no time to become every time, you can be in any time. Now that is becoming supernatural. This is the whole premise of the book, y'all. This is, yes, strong. In the work I do around the world, I've labored for many years teaching our students how to get beyond themselves. I now know the first step in this process is for them to master their body, get beyond the conditions in their external environment, and transcend time. When they accomplish that, they find themselves on the precipice of experiencing the unified field. Once they arrived at this nexus, however, they must be taught that there is even more to experience. Speaking of this, my live last night on Tuesday, you can catch it in my playlist. A woman was talking about how challenging it is to get beyond herself in meditation. That is the practice. You have to overcome your body, and sometimes your body will fight you because it does not want to change. It's clinging to familiarity. But this is exactly what he's talking about. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my live in the playlist for chapter 11, parts 1 through 3. Very amazing conversation that took place there. If learning means making new synaptic connections, the more you learn about something, the more you can appreciate it, become aware of it, and experience it because now you can engage it with a new set of neural networks. It is in the act of learning that you further change or enrich your experience. After all, If you haven't learned anything new, your experience will probably stay the same since you're perceiving reality with the same neural circuitry as before. Knowledge is the Knowledge is a harbinger, I think I said that right, that evolves your experience. For example, I love red wine and I lead several wine tours a year in different parts of the world. Many people who come to these week long events initially tell me that they know nothing about wine. How I translate this statement is that they probably never learned anything about or have had limited exposure to the fermented grape. The truth of the matter is that because they have limited knowledge and experience from their past, they have very limited neural hardware installed to perceive any real taste or nuance. We could say then that they just don't know what to look for or truly enjoy the experience. But what if they learn how winemakers produce wine and understand its history, the type of grapes they use, and why they are used? Then they learn about how the wine is stored in oak barrels, or for how long and why. This would familiarize them with the whole process and reasoning as to what makes a particular wine so enjoyable. That's the process. But now think of that great wine in a bottle. If they're not aware of the plum flavor, the notes of black cherry currants, its hints of vanilla and leather, the smell of its floral perfumes, its percentage of tannins, and whether it was aged in oak barrels or stainless steel drums and for how long, then they don't know what to look for and they're not going to be able to fully experience it. Only in the moment when they know what to look for and what to become aware of does it exist. We could say then that their awareness changes their experience. This is why we learn so much of the foundational stuff. So people who are just meditating for the sake of meditating and don't understand all of this quality of information that Dr. Joe is presenting is probably why they're not able to reach certain levels that people who are in Joe's community can reach, because people in Joe's community have the background knowledge. We, through reading this book, now have the knowledge to have the awareness of what we're doing when we're in meditation, what our bodies are doing, how to work with our body, even when it resists, how to overcome the emotions, even when you don't feel like doing it, right? That foundational information gives you the awareness, and now that's going to enrich your experience. It's going to change the way you experience a meditation. So these are not typical meditations that people have been doing without knowing what Joe is presenting in this body of work. They're just doing what they've known anciently through tradition. But this is a whole new level, and that's why the science is being brought up behind it so that more people can get into it, because it has nothing to do with religion or spiritual practices or any of that. If you're human, you should know this. This should be taught in schools, period. I know this to be true because in just 1 week of those same people who initially said they didn't like red wine or knew nothing about it walk away with a whole new experience of interacting with it. After many full days of learning and discovering what to look for, repeatedly staying present and focusing all their awareness on specific flavors and aromas, day after day, experiencing all types of wine and deciding what they like and don't like, continuously paying attention and therefore firing and wiring and assembling new neural connections, those folks get very specific about what type of wine they like. In 1 week, they gain a whole new level of appreciation, awareness, and understanding. Again, the experience changed them. The same is true when it comes to the unified field. If you're not aware of it, then it doesn't exist for you. Yet, the more you know about it and the more aware you are of what to look for, the more you can pay attention to it with your awareness and experience it more deeply. And it should change you. Starting at birth, you're trained to keep your attention on matter and not energy. You are conditioned into believing you need your senses to experience reality. In other words, if you don't see, hear, feel, smell, touch, or taste something, it doesn't exist. Because of this, the majority of people place most of their attention on matter, objects, and particle, while taking very little time to put their attention on energy, information, and wave. For instance, you are not aware of your big toe on your left foot until you put your attention on it. It has always existed for you, but you were unaware of it. The moment you put your awareness on it, however, it comes into being. The same is true for the unified field. The more you become aware of it, the more it will exist in your reality. By focusing solely on matter, people exclude possibility from their life. That's what the wave is, an energy of possibility. The more you pay attention to it, the more possibilities should show up in your life. Because wherever you place your attention is where you place your energy. The moment you become aware of the unified field, your attention upon it causes it to expand. For example, when you place your attention and awareness on your pain, it expands because you experience more of it. If you keep attending to your pain and experiencing more and more of it, it becomes part of your life. The same thing also happens with the unified field. When you place your attention on it and become more aware of it, it expands. And just as I said about pain, when you experience more of it, it exists as part of your life. Simply by placing your attention on the unified field as you become aware of it, notice it, experience it, feel it, interact with it, and stay present with it moment after moment, it shows up and unfolds in your reality on a daily basis. How does it show up and unfold? As unknowns, serendipity, synchronicities, opportunities, coincidences, luck, being in the right place at the right time, and moments filled with awe. In my best description from experience, this unified field is a divine, loving intelligence and an intelligent love that is within and around you. So each time you focus your attention on it, you're becoming aware of the presence of the divine within and all around you. As you place your attention on it, the divine should appear more and more in your life. Since consciousness is awareness and awareness is paying attention, when you are aware of it and pay attention to it, you begin to merge with it. Your experience of it will literally cause you to become it. As you unfold deeper and deeper into this unified field, there is more and more for you to explore and experience. Second, just checking something. If you look at figure 11.11 again, as you move closer and closer to that straight line that represents source energy or oneness, it makes sense that the only way you can move closer to it is by keeping your attention on it and becoming more conscious of it. If you do this correctly as you journey away from duality or separation and toward unity and oneness, since feelings are the end product of experience, you should feel more and more levels of love, unity, and wholeness. Once you feel and experience more of this intelligent love, three things happen in your life. You ready? The first thing that happens is that you place your attention and awareness on the unified field. As you move closer to source and deeper into it, you experience more of it. That journey carves a neurological path from your thinking brain straight to your autonomic nervous system. Now, each time you venture deeper into it, as you slow your brain waves down, you're building a neurological highway with more lanes. That neural pathway becomes thicker because you're using it more. Over time, this enables you to more easily merge with the field. And I can say that I experienced this. Like right now, as I'm reading, I can feel my energy centers. And this has been happening for several months now. So the more you engage with it, you'll become aware of it. And I keep putting my awareness on the feelings that I'm feeling, and it grows stronger. So, yeah. The second thing that happens is that because experience enriches the brain, each time you interact with this unified field and experience it, your brain changes. This is what experience does, it enriches and refines brain circuitry. Now you're installing the hardware in your brain to be more aware of this field the next time you merge with it. Likewise, since experience produces an emotion, as you feel the unified field, you begin to embody it. Thus, you embody more of the divine. According to the quantum model of reality, since all disease is a lowering and incoherency of frequency, the moment the body experiences this new coherent, elevated frequency, the energy from that event raises the body's vibration into coherence and order. Numerous times in our advanced workshops around the world, when our students' bodies have been upgraded by a new frequency and new information, we've witnessed instantaneous changes in their health, miraculous healings. This is how it happens. Since the autonomic nervous system's agenda is to create balance and health, the instant we get out of its way and stop analyzing, cease thinking, and fully surrender, this intelligence steps in and creates order. But this time it's carrying newer, more self organizing message with a greater frequency from the unified field. That very same coherent energy raises the frequency of matter. It's like changing the frequency of a static field radio station to one that is carrying a clear frequency and signal. The body is receiving a more coherent signal. When this happens, you will feel more intense love, a profound joy for existence, a heightened sense of freedom, indescribable bliss, an awe for life, elevated levels of gratitude, and a humbled sense of true empowerment in that moment. The energy from the unified field, in the form of emotion, is reconditioning your body to a new consciousness and a new mind. In a heartbeat, the elevated emotions signal new genes in new ways, changing your body and moving it out of your biological past. The third thing that happens as you move closer toward the unified field is that you begin to hear or experience knowledge and information differently. That's because you've changed your brain circuits and are no longer the same person. You will meet truth on a whole new level, and things that you thought you knew will seem like a brand new encounter. Your inner experience has changed your perception of what is happening in your outer world. In other words, you've awakened. Once you have an experience, a feeling, or better understanding of the unified field, once it changes your brain circuitry and allows you to experience and perceive reality in new ways, in fact, you will see a spectrum of life that your brain did not have the circuitry to perceive before. The next time your brain fires those networks, you already have the hardware to experience even more of the reality. You are now perceiving more of a reality that always existed. You merely lacked the circuits to perceive it previously. If on a consistent basis you can make this journey all the way to the source and connect with it, the moment you truly interact with it, you begin to behave more like it. Its nature becomes your nature, and now more intelligent love is being expressed through you. What are its innate qualities? You will become more patient, forgiving, present, conscious, aware, willful, giving, selfless, loving, and mindful, to name a few of them. You realize that that which you have been seeking is seeking you. You become it and it becomes you. The discipline then is to allow your consciousness to merge with a greater consciousness, surrender deeper into intelligent love, trust in the unknown, continuously surrender some aspect of the limited self to join the greater self, lose yourself in nothing to become everything, relax into an infinite deep sea of coherent energy, keep unfolding deeper and deeper into oneness, continuously let go of control. Feel greater and greater degrees of wholeness. And finally, as a consciousness, moment by moment, become aware, pay attention to, experience, be present with, and feel more and more of this unified field all around you without returning your awareness back to the three-dimensional reality. If you do this properly, you won't be using any of your senses because you're beyond your senses. You'll simply be awareness. So now we're going to do the space-time meditation. It's pretty brief. So you'll begin by resting your awareness on your heart. And once you're locked in on the space your heart occupies in space, become aware of your breathing. Allow it to flow in and out of your heart, all the while deepening and relaxing your breath. Keeping your attention on your heart, call up an elevated emotion and sustain this feeling for a period of time while paying attention to your breathing. Radiate that energy beyond your body and space. Next, using any song that inspires you, like the one you used for the meditation in chapter 5, do that meditation to pull the mind out of the body. Take all the energy stored in your body as survival emotions and liberate it into elevated emotions, using a level of intensity that is greater than the body as the mind. For the next 10 to 15 minutes, you'll listen to one or two songs without lyrics that will induce trance. Now become pure consciousness, becoming no one, nobody, no thing, nowhere, in no time, unfolding as an awareness into the unified field. Now it's time to become connected to the consciousness of everyone, everybody, everything, everywhere, in every time, unifying with a greater consciousness in the unified field. All you have to do is become aware of this field, pay attention to it, stay present with it, and feel it moment by moment. You will begin to feel more wholeness and oneness, which will be reflected in your biology because your body is experiencing more coherent energy moving through it, and you are building your energy field. Maintain this state for about 10 to 20 minutes, surrendering deeper and deeper into it. When you're done, bring your awareness back to a new body, to a new environment, and to a whole new time. Woo, that was amazing. And listen, This final section of chapter 11 is such a powerful reminder that we don't have to force change in the 3D. We can tune into change by aligning with the energy of the unified field. You are not limited by who you've been. You are not confined by your body or your past. You are a multidimensional being. And when you step into time, space, you become conscious, a conscious creator of your reality. If you're enjoying this series, I invite you to keep going with me. The full playlist of Becoming Supernatural readings is linked in my bio here on YouTube and on TikTok. So you can just catch up at any time from the very beginning or wherever you want to pick up from. Thank you for being here and thank you for remembering who you really are. See you in the next video, guys. Chapter 12.